recently had a call out to an unusual property in Newbury to renovate a large red marble patio. The design of the house was clearly inspired by the Mediterranean and resembled a Spanish villa. The UK winter had not been very kind to the large red marble patio and now looked faded and lifeless. I inspected the patio and could see that it had been previously sealed with a topical product that had deteriorated in parts over time, leaving the stone looking patchy and dull. After having the same stone installed throughout the interior of the property, she wanted to know if the exterior stone could be renovated to match. To get a better idea of what it would take to complete the work and produce an accurate quote, I ran some cleaning tests on a spare tile. The demonstration went very well, and it gave the client a good idea of the outcome they could expect. Happy with the potential result and my quote, I was booked to return and complete the renovation. This was a large patio to clean, so I worked in sections and starting with brushing and vacuuming to remove all the surface dirt and debris that could impact the stone burnishing process. Then, using water for lubrication, I started refinishing the marble with a very coarse 100 grit diamond pad fitted to a weighted rotary machine. This pad cut through the layers of remaining topical sealant that had built up on the surface of the stone. After a rinse with more water, I followed this with a less coarse 200 grit pad. I found that in some areas, such as along the edges of the tile, a thick build-up of old sealer needed to be weakened first using tile doctor remove and go before the pads could cut through. Once the old seal had been removed, I could focus on burnishing the stone, which is a polishing process that hones the stone and brings back its polished appearance. I did this using a set of diamond burnishing pads, starting with a 400 grit pad and working my way through the sequence of pads with 800 and 1500 grit. The pads are applied using a rotary floor buffer and again lubricated with water. The stone is rinsed with water afterwards, and the slurry picked up with a wet vacuum. The last pad to be applied is an extra fine 3000 grit pad, which leaves the stone with a good sheen. The pad is applied dry with only a little water sprayed onto the tile. I returned the following morning to check the stone had thoroughly dried and could be sealed. Fortunately, the warm weather had persisted, and I was able to finish the stone with 3 coats of Tile Doctor Color Grow. This sealer is known for bringing out the natural colors in stone, and it didn't disappoint, making the deep red colors in the marble really stand out against the white veins. Color Grow is also an impregnating sealer that seeps into the pores of the stone, protecting it from within, and will fare much better protecting the stone in the UK elements. This burnishing and sealing process was repeated in the numerous areas that made up the entire patio, except for the stairs, which had to be done using the same method, but with a handheld polisher as the rotary machine was simply too large. Being external, the work was weather dependent, and so had to be done in stages as it rained between visits, and the stone had to be left to dry out again before continuing. This slowed up the process, but we got there once the weather had improved. Overall, the client was very pleased with the work, and was happy that both the newly installed interior and the rejuvenated old stone looked uniform. For aftercare, I recommended they use the Tile Doctor Stone Soap Cleaner, which will clean and help maintain the patina on the stone. Also, it won't prematurely erode the sealer like more aggressive cleaning products you find in supermarkets.